So for those like interested in Facebook ads eventually, or Google ads, what kind of ads you have, there is like a planning process. So right now on Facebook, right, what's happening is because of algorithm, because of the new iOS, so some of the ads are blocked by people's phone. So I am looking at how can I make sure my ads doesn't sound very ad,
Mm.
and yet it is an ad. So it's not an easy task in terms of copywriting, something I'm working on as well. I'm also learning this. Uh, I'm not a copywriter from by training. So I'm just coming from the perspective of when I do my copy on Facebook posts, whether they are reading it, people are reading it, whether they are interested. So what is it that element that I'm getting that kind of eyeballs? So writing on that. So even strategy like thinking whether you'll be coming out from Stellar Host page or coming out from, for example, the property portal, the property page that we have is called Property Wealth Legacy. So these are like a design process that we're looking through. So my initial gut feel and also evaluation is will it go out from Stellar Hole. One, because Stellar Hole has about 1,000 over people on my page, even not very huge, but however, it's something that is there's people watching it. However, there's a lot of international people. This is targeted Singapore market first for now.
Mhm.
For now, I decide to just run it for local market first. So, but however, there will be people who actually are reading you, not part of your friend or follower. So it's going strategy wise, it's going out from seller home page. It's not going out from any other page. However, it will potentially also go from Property Wealth Legacy page because I can always take the information and put it there. Yeah, in case people search for it. So that's the idea. However, the official ads goes out from Stellar Hole. One, because people may read it as one of my posts. Yeah. So that's the thought process. So ads typically for the first time about maybe 10 days to get eyeballs. So we are starting from a low cost first, testing from low cost first and gradually increasing the cost. Why? Say assuming we run different kind of dynamics, we call ad dynamics change, for example, image or videos, or different image or different copy. And when we run all the split tests using Facebook, we will know that which one has more result. That means Facebook allocate costs. Somebody's in. Okay, great to see you. Okay, Eunice, I have give. Can you come in? I'm getting Eunice in. So somehow she's not in. Can you get in? If you can't, let me know. Okay, great. So these are the thought process when we are doing this. The good thing is because last year when I do fast track to monetize, we have actually tested this before, and also, I mean, personally, I'm also one of Ping Jun's mastermind, so I'm also riding on his experience. I mean, that's in honesty. That's not something I learned from scratch. It's through mentorship. So, however, what it seems to be that I potentially will have to run for 10 days and pace up the ads. So maybe for a start, I may put $20, $50 for all the ads. Then once I know the ads that's working, I can then maybe close off some of those ads that's not working. And then the Facebook automatically channel the funds to those that's working, because one maybe you have four different types, then one is not working, you closed it, then we will slowly scale up. Potentially maybe 2 or 3 days before or 4 days before, because we're doing 10 days, right? Once we know we can actually double up, and closer to the day, 1 or 2 days, we can even triple the investment. So at least then it's a managed cost. So the thing about doing it yourself is you can run it this way. If you put it to an agency, right? What I did was I have also used a few agencies before. They will just look at your budget and then just throw it out. They don't have this process of managing this way for you. Yeah, that's what I see in many of the digital agency. You just give them $1,000, they will just spend $1,000 across. Whichever comes to your webinar, that's your problem. So this is the reason why I went to mentorship, to want to learn it for myself, because then I want to know what's working and not working. Then at least whatever I'm sharing, it becomes meaningful to my mentees, right? So you know, okay, so let's test it. It doesn't work or what, So usually subsequently, when you have substantial kind of following, you can do about 5 days to run an event, which often you can see some of these digital marketing agency, they run a 5 days kind of ads, whether on Google, whether on Facebook, and it's working. So for me, because I'm building a totally new space in that zone, in the real estate market kind of advertising. So I'm giving myself space, and I'm running the workshop every 10 days. Every 10 days to a live event. So typically, I'm giving you rough numbers here. Okay. So Joyce, for the benefit of you coming in now, about 10 days for the first time, ads, if you ever want to run ads, whether it's YouTube, Google, any ads anywhere, to run in to see whether people are interested. Subsequently, maybe when you have great following, can be 5 days, you can do retargeting to the warm audience, then that's even faster. That's the thing that you look at. So, and also, let's say you have a live event, and my live event is originally planned in early March. I'm pushing it all the way back to end March because I actually pushed back the launch. So typically, I will need about 6 to 7 or 6 to 8 workshop before the event, meaning the marketing has to take place towards the event. So if we put it back to any other things that you're doing now, let's not talk about whether it's ads, whether anything. Let's just talk about if you're launching a program. If you're launching any program, you would need time to market it. And for someone to see you constantly and finally decide to click in and join, it probably takes them more than 7 times to look at it. It takes someone 7 to 12 times to build a rapport with someone, to be interested in what the person do. And which is why it probably needs about 7 to 8 times kind of webinar in order to make it meaningful for me to have the live workshop. So these are all the thought process that I do. Why 7 to 8 times? Because assuming I'm having a live event, I will have costs involved to have the live event. So I'm only charging $997 for 2 packs. Okay, so a typical event room in Singapore, 100 over people, 160 people, I think, if I didn't recall wrongly, is maybe 1,500 all in, plus not including ads, or maybe 1,000, depending on the kind of room space you want to go to. And hotels or what, of course it can be cheaper if you choose rooms. So if I need to bring sufficient people to the event, I need to work out how many people I have to bring to the event to break even. Let's not talk about make money first, to break even. However, I also like to share that you would have to do the first few rounds maybe just to break even, to build community, to build audience, to build rapport, to build referral, to build interest. So that's the kind of investment. In any business, there's an investment cost. The good thing now we can do is the online version, which is free. Then subsequently is to bring to life. My idea was to do a live event, a weekend event. So I would have to plan for 2 days. 2 days cost me $3,000. Correct? Minimum. So minimum I have to sell how many? Not many lah, 3 only. But the event has to look meaningful with maybe I'm targeting 50 people, intimate and substantial. Then I have to work out the upsell in the event. So it's not about holding the event. It's also whether you have an upsell, or even for those of you who are not running this with an upsell, maybe it's a book launch. Like Cindy and Dong can build credibility, do a book launch if you're no upsell, because that's another layer of connecting. So we make use of one event to create multiple kind of marketing experience for ourselves. Yeah. So for me to go to that level, I will have to do decent planning in order to have the event and have substantial people to come. So this is what's happening behind the scenes. So just now, because we're waiting for the rest of you to come in, so I was just sharing with them that behind the scene what's happening. I'm actually doing my copywriting. I'm not doing it, to be fair to Daniel. Daniel is doing the copywriting. I'm doing the I'm the bad person. I'm the bad guy who's going to evaluate the writing myself. It was very long earlier, so I wanted it as short as possible. So y'all can help me look at it. The reason why is also good because then you know what I was looking at. You want to see the original? Okay, let me see the original. This is quite close to original. This is the close to original. Are you seeing the, okay, let me get one page by page, because now you see 2 pages, right? Is this better? Bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah, bigger, right? So this is, okay, the ones that is done by him is those at the front one. I already more or less made changes. So the first few text sentence change basically is just the hook that we are trying to hook on people on the different ad copy, the various copy. So if you look here, many warn recession is coming, crisis opportunities, discover the. Most people buy property like a consumer. Instead of increasing their wealth, they end up with a rotten egg. So what I'm doing is he's doing the first copy, and from their first copy, I'm reviewing to become my own voice, because if it appears as a post within all the things that you scroll through, right? Sometimes the sponsor ads appear suddenly, right? I want it to appear as if it's one of the posts. So I'm also looking at how best I can change it. Of course, it's not so straightforward, not so easy. We're just testing, and we're testing with different copies. So this was done by him instead of, then what if I told you that en bloc is a golden egg investment that's potential upside of 30% or more the day you buy it and not the day you sell it, thus securing you a golden retirement. And there is a proven system to find, negotiate, and buy en bloc property, which not only give you the potential upside, Then he say, hi, I'm Stella. I'm more than 25 years. He was trying to promote me because I have 25 years experience in this specifically. However, I didn't want it to be about me, because then it will appear like it's another ad, right? So if you look second page here, then okay, for the first time, I will disclose the en bloc secrets used by me and my inner circle in my live masterclass. I'm changing it to a workshop. It's not a masterclass. Why? Because the 2-day event is called masterclass. If this webinar is still a masterclass, it's going to confuse the group. How come one is free, one is paid? So I give them different names. So this is a workshop. The 90 minutes webinar, I'm turning it into a workshop. You can call it a webinar. I don't like the word webinar. It's a bit overused. So he still have, this is the master class if you are this group of people. He's just like, wow, what target everyone, basically. Not wrong. I'm like perspiring at this seat. So this is what he came up with. I'm still refining it, but I changed the first set already. So what I changed was this. So discover, this is just the first headline will always be different for every ad copy. So just that one is about recession. This is about secrets. Okay. So we probably have like 4 or 5 copies, different copy. So what you want to do on organic posting is the same thing. So I'm using ads, you are using organic, let's say. You can start writing things like that and then have a call to action at the back for them to hop to you, come to your event, join you and meet you where, the kind of thing. So it doesn't, you can use your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever you're using, or even your emails to be, this kind of like doing a message. So I decided that I wasn't going to talk about me, let's say, but directly that I have more than 25 years. I wanted to say that if someone reads my post, I just want to tell them personally, I've not shared this openly For the first time, I will disclose the secrets used by me in professional consulting, evaluating, and handling many of the investment and en bloc deals in Singapore. So you're not learning theory, but I didn't like the word but lah. So however, from a practitioner with more than 25 years experience in property investing, and I've helped thousands retire comfortably using these exact techniques and strategies. So what you'll discover is so that, remember I always talk about so that, what's the result of them attending your workshop, your system, your masterclass, your webinar, reading your book, whatsoever, so that you can create your investment roadmap to comfortably retire early. This is for the first time, so that you can create your investment roadmap. So this workshop is for you if I only decide to do 2 different types of people. Remember we talk about one or the other. So I just went new and seasoned. So same thing for you if you're doing something like weight loss, if you're new to weight loss or your seasoned weight loss, whatever you call it. So you want to target the mind frame of this person. So you're new to property investing and have no idea how to get started. Yet you wish to secure early retirement in life. That's what everybody wants, right, in life, early retirement. So your seasoned investor is different. You're looking to grow your portfolio, to build a legacy that can provide generation wealth. So that's all I wrote. So I shortened the copy quite a fair bit. Is this a better copy as compared to just now you read a lot of things? Just be honest, or you can suggest further improvement. I'm open to ideas. Different people. The content is similar, however, the hook may be different. So for her, she saw the 30%. So this one is a different copy. This one is saying that property is one of the biggest ticket items you'll purchase in your life. So what I'm going to change is you could end up with a rotten egg if you choose the wrong one. So that is the second copy. So the third copy, this one I haven't, this is the third copy he wrote, is a rotten egg because someone actually told him not to do it. Yeah, which is true. Yeah. So then the fourth copy comes from in crisis, people who are in recession, worried about job security. So we come from putting out different variation of similar content, but different hook to hook different people. So basically there's about 4 different types of category that we think through when we want to run whether ad or organic or paid. So similarly for your event, right, you are looking at your audience coming from the objections they have. So the first timer will say, I can't do this. So I'm targeting their mind frame. Second one will say, hey, recession coming, that I don't know how to secure retirement. So second one. So coming from different types of people seeing the ad to gain their eyeballs. So like I said, when you're doing your post, you can run your posts in this manner on your Facebook or anywhere, or your emails. So they will then, after that, when you're called to action for them to take action for what you're doing, you can actually get their interest because you're hooking different type of people. Ultimately, there are different people in the market. Not everyone think the same way. So some people think like Dong, some people think like Cindy, some people think like me, some people think like, in fact, in this space, 6 of us think differently already. So how different would your audience say? So what is good is if you start writing all these posts for yourself, you can test it. Just put it up in there in your social media post and test, because it's free. That's why I say I use it as a media platform. Okay, so you can test it and then see what is that capture attention, which posts actually get more interest. I've been testing all these kind of things for years, you guys know, in terms of my personal posts, to see what kind of posts relate to people, what kind of psychology behind human in that space. So this is what I was talking with Cindy and Dong, and I wanted to share. So what I suggest to you is you can do this. Okay, let's spend time this week to write some copies, whether you want to use for email, whether you want to use for your social media. In fact, the same email post that you do, Joyce, for your social media, for your email, you can just put it out in the post in one of your Facebook. for all of you. Today is about implementation. Okay, I want to share this that I have gotten this afternoon with a friend. I decided to prick her brain because she is in her 60s. She is a very successful businesswoman. This is a lady she is not a single parent. I must just share this story with you because to me, she's a power lady. She's married. However, her husband has Parkinson after she had her second child. So she's in her 60s. For maybe 40 years, 40 years, she lived with a husband who's not a full husband. So she provided for the entire family because and on top of that, has to provide for her husband's treatments. Of course, she's still holding by that. She's really good in that, keeping the children there. She has multiple properties, super rich lady. And best of all is her business is in China. All of you should know, most of you, maybe not so much Joyce, it is very hard for any women to survive in China in business. The business people that she deals with are from China. So her business will typically through US, China. So she flies to US and China often because she's like an intermediary, and Taiwan. So she does, I think she's a consultant to those mobile parts, Apple phone specifically. So, China is the manufacturer, Taiwan is the manufacturer, and the consumer, of course, the owner is Americans. So she managed to earn a lot of wealth through her business and strive through all these years. So today I decided to ask her a question. I said, for your many years of successful business, and she's very sharp with numbers. She tells me, for any business person to do well in your business, you must be sharp on your numbers. As a CEO of a company, whether you like it or don't like it, you need to know your numbers, your budget, your revenue, your costing. You need to know. And if not, why do a business if you don't plan and you don't budget and you don't do all these necessary things? Because apparently someone else consulted her who is a CEO, but she has no sight of the numbers. So she's asking her like, hey, you're CEO, you don't even know your numbers. That's bad. So the other thing that she gave me a few nuggets this conversation. She told me, Stella, you only need to do one thing and do one thing good. Sounds familiar, right? I'm hearing from another person telling me why I tell you. You only need to do one thing and do one thing good. And when you're doing that one thing, what is your unique differentiating factor? How different are you from the next property guy? For example, if I talk about property, so she relate property. She said, if I talk on property, what is your uniqueness from the rest of the property guys? In your own area of business, you are in weight loss. How different are you from the rest? What is your unique selling point that people relate you differently? So you must go and carve a niche for yourself and start looking at what is that niche. It is something that, of course, another mentor of me told me you must have affinity with. That's important. And people know you are in that space, so you can relate to those people. And importantly, even in property, how different are you from the rest, the thousands of people out there in the market? Otherwise, no one can see you. And then she cited someone in Singapore who has been doing fairly well on social media using digital marketing, which I also know. And he's not anything special, but he has this unique proposition that he used video marketing for real estate. And he has done for many years. So she told me, Stella, what is different in him was when he started, he was also bad at it. I saw him, but I wasn't looking at the properties. I was looking at him, evaluating this guy, seeing how different is he from the rest of the whatever property guys. And the difference is he persisted. He did it for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And now today he's recognized in that space. So it is about continuity. It's not just about creating your own uniqueness. Of course, that's important. The other thing is continuity in doing what you're doing. So she asked me, the next question she asked me is, so how are you doing all this stuff yourself? Not to forget, she's a traditional businesswoman. She doesn't do social media. She doesn't do all these things. So I asked her, how do you get a business? That's my question to her, because marketing, then you can get somewhere. So of course, we didn't manage to complete the conversation. However, she was also telling me that's the main thing, unique difference that you create for yourself. So people look for you. So she asked me this question, are you on social media? I said, yeah, I've been working on Facebook for the past 2-3 years on Facebook. Then she said, are you going to be an influencer? I said, no, not really influencer directly, because I don't really do that kind of influencer kind of stuff. Then this lady went, Stella, you are wrong. okay, coming from a semi-retired lady in her 60s, successful all her life. She said, be the influencer. Whatever system, be the influencer. You need to be an influencer in the new market so that people know you as a unique person representing this thing and doing it differently from the rest. You need to be an influencer in social media, and it is your multiple streams of income. Coming from her, it is not just, is do one thing good first, keep doing the one thing good before you do the second thing. That's important. However, if you're a social media influencer, you will have other opportunities. That's what she said to me. She said, continue what you're doing. And then I said, yeah, for the past few years, I've been working on Facebook. So this year, actually, my target is to work on Instagram. I told her that. And also other social media space. Because my intention has always been video marketing and also social media space. So she said, this guy took 3-4 years to get there. Just keep doing it. If last year was Facebook, she said this to me, if last year was Facebook, was what this foundation business mentoring that you're building on, this year, if you so decide that you want to focus on social media, work on it. It will just build up the foundation over time. You need to not stop doing, just add on the stuff and keep doing it and be seen. Then you'll be successful. That's what she said from someone who doesn't do social media at all in her life. Never, okay? And she doesn't need to because she's semi-retired now and she's not interested in, she's like more spiritual now. She's just practicing her spirituality. So that gave me the, hey, okay, I'm doing it right because I am still doing, the intention of it is to go into social media, continue. And sometimes social media is a very unique space. Let me cite this example of one of my mentor, Terry Levin. She is not on social media directly. She's only on Facebook. Her post in Instagram was never done by her. Never. However, I saw her build her Instagram. She followed someone else or got someone to do her Instagram. She grew from 6,000 to now 60,000 over a period of time. It's also not overnight. It's also over a period of time. But of course, the jump was quite fast after she found the right technique because they realized what the people like to look at her stuff. So I'm still testing what people like to look at my stuff. So what she landed with was she became ambassador for certain brands. They came to look for her because she goes to gym and she wears certain outfit. And they decided to make her the ambassador to wear those clothes and be seen on her space. And what she directly, indirectly got was an opportunity to potentially know another company to do business stuff with them. So I think I just want to break down that mindset of that, oh, social media is not for me, really. Social media comes from many forms. It's how you want to be seen and how you want to follow through. I met this social media lady in Peng Jun's event. She did social media for 12 years. 12 years ago when she started, she never think that it would become a business for her. Today, she is managing influencer, celebrities. And she started running her social media like her own, like, oh, my story, that kind of thing. She still run it that way. It's her Instagram, right? It's about her life, her family, her travel, her learning and stuff like that, her growth. However, that gave her the opportunity for growth. So this is where I want to share this aha from a traditional business lady who tells me, go on and do what you want to do, be seen on social media. So my strategy has always been, I'm not doing myself, but I can still engage someone to do it for me. Okay, for Joyce, if you're listening at the back, you can engage someone to run it for you. If you don't want to be seen at the beginning, you need to test out what are the things that people like to watch from you. Because if you come from the perspective is, I'm sharing value, I'm really teaching and sharing my knowledge out to help people, then you will not shy away from social media anymore. Because you are sharing your passion, your interest, your experience in the social media front. Then that should not stop you from putting out a post to say, today I started exercising for 15 minutes and I'm going to continue it for 100 days, and 100 days later you can post, okay, this is the difference. So this is where I come from, that so-called takeaway that I got from this entrepreneur, this business lady. And she probably is her multi-million assets kind of level. She's talking for her own personal experience, and she just think of it very simple, just do one thing good, then before you move to the next. And one of the advice that she gave to that CEO who came to her is, you're doing too many things. How can you be a CEO and do well as that role when you want to be 5 companies CEO, for example, 5 different businesses? You have to focus on one and do it well first. And then after you do it well, then move on to the next. That was what her sharing with that lady was, that the other lady CEO. So that's all that I want to share with you from that perspective. So I came back, I want to do something else. I thought that this is something meaningful to share because it came from someone with she started very young in her 20s. She's in her 60s, 40 years of experience in business and very successful. And I'm not like joking about it, because she's literally leaving legacies. She's just bought another property for her daughter, 4 million property for her daughter, kind of stuff. So all she said was just be simple, focus on one thing, consistently do it, and continue to grow. So focus on one growth area each time. So last year, what was your growth area? Like I said, in our past sessions, continue doing it. And what is something that you can add on to improve on it? And keep doing it. And the social media was just one blown away for me from her, because it came from her. She's not even on Facebook. I know she occasionally shows change her profile pictures, that's all. Yeah, but she's watching. She's watching the growth market. So yeah, so I wanted to share that, and I hope there's some good takeaway for you from this sharing. And then look at really how do you want to do it differently for yourself this year, or add on to what you've been doing well last year. I know we're still on the same topic.